Welcome everyone to Life of Giants, where we are looking for justice. I don't know. This has been a weird news cycle, Cole. I am dealing with Jack Marvel. This is Cole Clayton, and we are talking about the insanity that happened this past week.
The news never stops, right?
And this is the thing, is for the longest time, it's like, is that really news? And now you're like, well, now we got some meaty stuff, and people are like, oh, you should just ignore that. You're like, I'm not ignoring anything anymore. I'm looking forward to discuss the Death Star when it arrives. It's fine. It's, it's
That's supposed to happen, by the way.
Oh yeah, they made a quick turn to behind the moon.
So it didn't happen? They directed it away?
It was a phone call. I don't need you. You can come back later. It's fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. Whatever.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Surge? What's up, Walkie Talkies are neat. Yeah, no, it's this is the thing, is that let's do the first one. So what happened to Peanut? Okay, so this is the wild story. So Peanut the squirrel is on the internet. He's a very, very beloved squirrel. I never thought I'd say that, but sure. And lived with people and was in an animal rescue facility, right, where these people ran it. And there was Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon, two animals, among others, that are being rescued there. And a woman in another state had a problem with that. She's like, absolutely not. Now, I feel on some degree like I understand this woman, because like I don't like my cat because my cat has more Instagram followers than I do. I get it. That's the tough part about being in social media and creating content. But you shouldn't hate somebody who's doing better than you. You should try and learn from them. I put whiskers on my face. I'm good. It's fine. And my wife's like, Apollo is awesome. She loves the cat more than me. That's fine. If the cat could do stuff, she'd be like,
Apollo the spaceship that blew up?
No, Apollo is number one. He's named after Apollo Creed. His name is Apollo Creed Bletzes, if you want to follow him on Instagram.
Apollo is the one that flew too close to the sun, right?
No, Apollo is the god of the sun.
Oh. I'm trying to help here, Bob.
I mean, it's not.
Apollo Creed died in Rocky 4. I helped. I figured it out. I made the leap.
But yeah. So this lady, wildly, it's Rocky's greatest rival. I mean, exactly, right? It's that's why I'm like, I'm clearly Sylvester Stallone. That's, if you didn't know that. That's obviously. Look, I can put my eyebrows
older, like Rocky 7.
Yeah, maybe 9. Maybe Rocky 9. Rocky hits the seniors home. So yeah. So Peanut was people loved him on the internet, and a woman had a problem with the fact that Peanut was on the internet. How dare you? And the thing is, the guy would have the squirrel on his shoulder. I do have a video. I don't know if you want to play it. Do you think we can?
Yeah, we should be okay.
Should be okay, because we'll just talk over it. It's fine. But the squirrel, I'm gonna play it for you guys. The squirrel would like eat Eggo waffles with the guy, and I'm like, bro, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Peanut the squirrel was euthanized because this woman filed a complaint, bragged about it on Facebook, and now she's deleted all of her social media.
So like, this squirrel was fucking cool. Because listen, who doesn't like eating Eggo waffles? Like, I'm not saying they're the best thing, but you do feel like a kid again. You're like, I'm eating an Eggo waffle. It's a fun time,
I don't know. Eating an Eggo waffle as a grown man is like kind of sad, especially if you don't have like a kid with you. Like you're like,
yeah. Well,
how did I fuck up?
And this is the thing, is what you have to buy. And I have this. What's up, Gamer King? Victoria says,
I've
had Eggo waffles.
What? Yeah, let's see. Like I said, it's a fucking sad, depressed guy thing.
So it is, but also like if you make waffles at home, with like if you have a waffle maker, they're fantastic. I don't know, Gamer King, you are bad at typing, or maybe you have a squirrel and your squirrel has now typed on your keyboard. That's very possible. But yeah, so lady got angry. And we have her details are right here. Her name is Monica Kessler. She has a photography studio, a nature photography studio, and she is a wildlife conservationist. So why she had a problem with the squirrel, like, I'll be honest with you, I don't like the squirrels in my neighborhood. I hate them as well. I'm not calling the police on them, though. That's ridiculous.
Why do you hate squirrels? What have they ever done to you?
I believe some of them have put nuts in my car. And so when I brake hard, I hear like a tick, 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 and it's just like something rolling. And I'm like, and this is the thing is I have a nice car. And that nice car is now I can hear things rolling around, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm crazy or I think the squirrels are getting me. And it's
Or your
weird.
car just sucks. You know, you're blaming it on a squirrel.
Like it's an old car, so that's fine. But
you know who sounds nuts? You.
You make that sound like that's a new information. That come on, let's calm down.
I hear them.
There you go.
Or
Yeah.
Do you also hear the voices too?
More than one. So yeah, Peanut the Squirrel was an internet sensation, captivating hundreds of thousands of internet followers with videos and his charming antics with his owner, Mark Longo. That changed last Wednesday when the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, also weird, raided Longo's home, seizing Peanut and another pet, a raccoon named Fred. The two animals were euthanized soon after. Longo claimed the DEC informed the media about the animals' deaths before they told Peanut's Freedom Farm, Longo's animal sanctuary nonprofit named after Peanut. Like, it's messed up. Let's be honest. It is some weird stuff happening.
What bitch's beef with this dude and this squirrel? Like, what the fuck? There's no way this squirrel was bothering her.
Listen,
as far as I'm concerned, it was an indoor squirrel, right?
Well, look, she's from Texas, and the squirrel's in New York.
And this is
really weird.
And a Texan has any fucking right to bitch about people's animals. You can have tigers in your yard in Texas. There's no law against exotic animals in Texas.
Yeah, also, it's awesome, right?
Why are you bitching about a squirrel in New York?
He's nuts, and I will donate $100. Thanks, Blaze Hacker. We appreciate you. But it's one of those things where you're like, I don't understand why this lady has a problem.
He's just nuts. I'll yell it. He's nuts. There you go. Donate that $100, big boy.
He's nuts. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I don't understand why this lady was angry. So this lady immediately, because the internet does what the internet does, and essentially now her name is plastered.
Did they dox her? They doxed her.
Bro, we just doxed her. I put up her address. It's fine.
Oh, did you? I didn't know.
Yeah, I did. I don't give a shit. And her phone number. Call her.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck her, really, truly. Like
that's a person who's a bad person. You're like, oh, she deserves everything that's coming to her. So she's deleted all of her social media. Let me see here. She was jealous the squirrel had more nuts in its mouth than she had. I mean, also possible. Listen, 2024, no judgment, but the squirrel was out nutting her. That's fine. That is reasonable.
You know what I was thinking the other day too? After all this squirrel shit happened.
Yeah.
Squirrels are just the supermodels of rats.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
They're just photogenic rats. That's all it is. I like squirrels. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diss on rats, but I mean, I like supermodels too.
That's fair, right? That's like, and I can only imagine rats would look at squirrels and be like, stupid bitch with your thing. I'm like, listen, I listen. So everybody knows. I look at him and I'm like, you and your full head of hair, son of a bitch. Just fucking.
I wear hats like I'm ashamed of my baldness, and like it freaks women out because I'll take my hat off and they're like, "Why do you have so much hair at your age?" And I'm like, "What?"
You just assume everyone's gonna be bald.
I think they assume every dude who wears a hat all the time is bald.
You know how many times people have been like, why don't you go get your hair done and you can go, and I'm just like, why would I bother?
Like, yeah, your single hair?
Like I could get I mean like I could get plugs in and I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I care? And they're like, you look better with hair.
I feel like you would look better bald than you would look with hair plugs.
That is possibly. I want to shave my head now.
You got the head for baldness. You really do.
I don't know. And well, we're gonna find out soon. So I'm gonna shave my head. The only thing is it's cold. So I'm like, I don't know, right? But I am gonna shave my head.
You don't have enough hair to notice the difference in weather. If you shaved it.
I hate you sometimes. I really do.
I'm just being honest with you, Bob.
That's fine. The sides are very warm. The top has its own issues. But yeah, I don't understand why, like, and this is the thing is like there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening. Serge says, I'm going bald. I just shave it, grow it out until spring. I mean, yeah, it's not a bad idea. I don't know. For me, I'm more so like I did have good hair, but then when I got to my fattest, it just kind of disappeared. And now I'm just holding on for dear life with this little magical part.
Oh wow! I thought I was going bald. I really did. Because it recedes real bad, like that. And then so for a while I was using what is it, rosemary and all that shit, and doing all this different stuff. And then Facebook Memories pulled up a picture from when I was 18, and I got to look. I was like, I've always had that widow's peak. What the fuck? Nobody ever said shit to me. So then I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. I've always been that way.
You know what? And that's one of those things where I had a friend who actually went bald due to stress, and now he's got a full head of hair again. And I'm like, well, maybe when I'm a gajillionaire, I'll get my hair back, and just my body be like, yeah.
One of my brothers started going bald at 17.
Oof. Yeah. That's done. This is the thing is
he's got none of it left really. It's like he's still growing it out, but he's got an 8 head.
That's the thing is I had hair up until my late 30s, and then it started disappearing. But I was like, and people were like, usually that's not what happens. So I don't know. We'll see.
So it wasn't even that long ago.
No. That's why there's now that I'm getting in shape and correcting my diet and all that kind of stuff, I'm okay with it, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
There for a minute you were really convinced it would come back.
I mean, I still hope so. There's no question. I love having hair.
Your hair when people lose their hair though. So
no, usually people lose their hair in their late 20s, early 30s, and that's the marker. If you have all your hair when you're 30, you're probably okay. But say
my grandfather still has all his hair, and he's in his he's pushing 70, I think now.
Yeah. So walkie talkies neat. I started balding around 25, 26. Serge, my grandfather lost most of his hair by 25ish. Yeah. And I had hair like Samson. I mean,
to be fair, Serge, your grandfather, was he like a World War II vet or something? The Korea, yeah. That, I mean, war will make anybody's hair recede.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing is because there's a difference between male pattern baldness and for me, I suffered it's the stress-induced calcification of cells. So I'm because I still have hair, and I had hair well into my 30s, up until my early 40s, well, late 30s. And then it's just started going on mass, and it's all right, whatever. So I'm I don't know, maybe I have crazy stress, but also all the fasting and everything. I'm sorry for your hair loss. I mean, I am too.
John Smith, are you married to Jane Smith? Are you a super spy?
I mean, you're welcome.
You look like Brad Pitt.
Hey, don't get
Gambino.
God. Can you imagine? No, but that's why I'm look, realistically, I'm I don't really care about it. I know there are a lot of guys, bro. Have you seen some of the videos where guys have comb overs where they're tuck it under a hat and then it looks like they have
like tomorrow's president? The president-elect of tomorrow?
There's that issue. Well, someone said that he probably got weird plugs back in the day, and that's why they're all wonky. And I'm it's very possible. Who knows, right?
And I wonder why he never would have fixed it, because he's one of the richest people in the world. So, do you think that probably got the old plugs probably fucked his head up, so you can't get new plugs?
It's very possible.
Mm-hmm. If I was a billionaire, I wouldn't be walking around with no bald head.
I don't know. And that's why I'm I don't really care about it.
At least
it's not that big of a deal for me. At least I don't find it that where I'm just people are I'm bald, and I'm it doesn't matter. I live in a home and I have a wife that loves me most of the time. That's fine.
See, cosmetically speaking, I have to have everything going for me because I have such a shit personality.
I mean, at least you said it. That's fine. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. Give me a second here. I'm going to pull this up because this is a fucking nightmare. I just
Speaking of dudes with receding hairlines, did you hear what happened to Jason Kelce?
I mean, I was going to wait a little bit, but here.
Oh, are we going to wait a little bit?
Yeah. Why not?
Wait a little bit.
I just got a picture of, I guess this is Trump's dad.
John?
Yeah, personality's crap. That's fair. It's okay. My wife's like, thanks, I mean, at least she's honest.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do your thing.
No. Here is, I guess that's Trump's dad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that guy looks rough. That is an issue.
That looks like a serial killer.
I mean, he's got like a wonky face and everything too. So I feel bad for the guy, but what are you gonna do, right? It's just, I mean, that like, there's what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, right? That's like also too. People are like, I want to live till I'm 100, and I'm like, bro, have you seen people in their 80s? They do not look healthy. Like,
oh no, I think that's gonna change soon. Like, I think 100 will be, like at least for my generation. I mean, you and I aren't that much different in age, but like, I don't know. I feel like 100 is gonna be the new 80 for us.
So, well, this is the thing though, is like having, I told you this, how my wife's aunts came, and one of them is in her 80s, and like she was walking around, she was limber, she was in great shape, but it was like
80 is different for everybody. It seems like there's some 80-year-olds who are like, damn, and then there's some 80-year-olds who are like, you're 80? What the fuck?
Right?
You know?
And it's like, it's hard. Like, your body's gonna age whether you like it or not. That's just life, right? But everything I've learned is, number one, is eat clean and never stop moving. Like, walk, take the stairs, do stuff like that. And like, that's Trump's dad was in the KKK. I mean, there was a time when a lot of people were.
That was kind of like the club back then, like,
I mean, Chuck Norris is 83. I mean, Chuck Norris,
he is kind of looking old as fuck, though.
He is kind of looking old, right? So, I mean,
it's that Texas weather, man. It cooks you.
See, that's the thing too, is like there's a lot of environmental issues too, right? So, like, have you seen some old people who are like have been tanned for 30 years, and you're like, yo, you do not look okay. You do not look okay.
Well, they said that's what ages you the most, is just being out in the sun. So that's why you ever meet like a landscaper who's been doing it 20, 30 years.
Yeah,
they look like shit, dude.
They do. It's one of those things where you're just like, yeah, death is running from. I mean, that
I like it.
Bacon grease. You're absolutely right, sir. That is factual.
Bacon grease. I love the name.
It's fantastic. But yeah, it's one of those things where like you have to age gracefully by constantly moving, and that's like one of the things that I remember we're talking about with Kyle was like, you don't hear about many people who live to the age of 80 that are over 200 pounds, and you're like, aha, I feel personally attacked. That's not very nice, but like,
is that not a thing? I didn't know that. I'm fucked then. I don't live in a world where I'll be less than 200 pounds. I'm just I got big bones, I got big muscles, I got big fat. Like, even if I get rid of the fat, I still got the other two things. You know what I mean? Like, I got big balls. I got a big dick. Like, that's too much, man. I weigh a lot. The dick and the balls easily goes for like 20 pounds.
There you go. Here, I just dropped in. I work outside, balding at 35. Cheers, guys. Hey, welcome to the club. That's all right. Listen, go get your wiener touched. You'll be fine.
You're right there with us, buddy.
I mean, like, that's the thing, though, is like, I don't see as being fat as comparable to being bald. Like, fat, you do have control over, and you can work towards it. Like I am, and you are. But like when you're bald, it's like, all right, shit happens. It's like getting mad at somebody because they have like a scar. You're like, you're insane. Let's just get the fuck out of here, right?
You probably got the scar doing something badass,
Or have surgery, which I've had a few.
Well, that's not that bad.
I mean, no, it's not.
Why'd you have the surgery? I ate too much and had to take my gallbladder.
There you go. Ta-da!
They took my gallbladder away from me as a punishment.
Yeah, Victoria says some scars are cool. Like I have
a gallbladder for you.
I mean, yeah, you don't deserve it. Your body's like, nope, don't want to do this anymore. I'm out. I mean, yeah, but
that's funny.
That's one of those things, and this is why, like, all right, see you later, Serge. He's like,
later, Serge.
Have a good one, buddy. But yeah, I feel like this lady getting taken down for her insanity is totally reasonable. And granted, it is weird.
She got a squirrel murdered.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If that was a person, we'd be dragging her out in the streets, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like it's insane.
And she got the NYPD to do it, which I mean, they need all the help they can get because those guys.
She swatted a squirrel, bro.
Yeah, and they trashed the guy's house looking for the squirrel. Yeah,
there's no fucking doubt. I don't fucking doubt that for a minute, man. The fucking
oh yeah.
You ever had your car searched, man? They tear your whole car up, bro.
No, never.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've had it searched a lot. Shit.
Yeah, it's because you're a degenerate,
all the time, man.
You're a degenerate, and I look like I'd be a bigger problem.
I have never been charged, sir, with anything.
Alleged degenerate.
I've never. I look like one. I immediately get bad vibes from the police officers. As soon as I get pulled over, I'm like, this is about to be a thing. I'm like, here we go. I get attitude right off the rip. I get, where are you going? Business, like, what is this? Like,
and that's the thing is too, like, I was talking to my wife about this too, and I explained, I'm like, you got to understand is that when you talk to a police officer, especially in the field, you're talking to the secretary. This isn't the most knowledgeable person in the police force. This isn't a lawyer. This isn't any of those things. They don't know anything.
He works for me as far as I'm concerned, the way I look at it.
You're not wrong. It's just that when you tell them that, they're like, "Oh yeah, well maybe I'll shoot you," and you're like, "You shouldn't have a job. You're an idiot. Like it's not right." Like I have friends who are police officers, and they're like, "Bro,
you're gonna shoot me because I hurt your feelings? You're supposed to be America's badasses. You're supposed to be the front lines against crime, and you're over here shooting somebody who's a little lippy." Like
I know, and you're just like, what are you on about? Like, let's get the hell out of here.
God, y'all just crybabies. This one people like firefighters way more than y'all.
100%. Well, bro, nobody's there isn't a song called "Fuck the Firefighters," just "Fuck the Police." Sorry, that's just
fuck the firefighters. Well, there's gonna be a song about "fuck the firefighters" if we keep letting women rap.
Oh my god. So I think it would be a pro firefighter song.
Oh yeah. So, fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck them every opportunity you get. So somebody just sent me a picture. Walkie Talkie Neat sent it to me, and he's like, "I wish I looked like Robert Redford right now." This is Robert Redford, and he's 80, and you're like, "Damn."
Is Robert Redford still alive? I thought he died.
Nope, he's still alive, and you know what?
He died,
pretty decent.
Pretty sure he died.
I don't know. This is why I'm just like, it's one of those things that if you aging gracefully is difficult and it's a lot of work. And I feel like the reason why you can't work after 65 is because you have to put all your time into trying to not fall apart at the seams on a daily basis. I think that's reasonable.
I don't know if you think about it, like Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, and all those guys are pushing 60. You know that, right? Fucking even Snoop Dogg, like,
bro. And
Dre, Eminem.
So many of them are on testosterone replacement therapy, and you're like,
a problem with that at their age. Like I will do the same thing.
Robert Redford is 80, and he's still alive.
Yeah, he didn't look too bad in that Speedo.
Eminem looks amazing. Yeah, but Eminem is like,
Eminem don't look amazing. Okay, he looks weird. Like,
but he's always looked weird. Let's be honest.
I mean, like he looked like a weird guy, but now he looks weird. Like he looks like, obviously he's in very great shape for somebody's age, but like his face looks like he sauced too much. Like he went to the Diddy parties against his will, it seems like. You know what I mean? Like,
word is a lot of people went against their will. That's just how those parties worked, apparently.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Odd, but yeah, no, man. This is one of those things where I feel like the problem is, I think I sent you a picture of Vinny something, and
Vinny Testaverde?
I don't know, but he's a singer.
Vinny?
No. He's a singer from way back, and like he's in Las Vegas, and he's just got the mic up, and like you can hear it's a recording, and he's like, and you're like, bro, that guy's not there. Like that guy looks worse than Biden. You're like, that guy is not okay. Like he is, and they're like, just retire, man, just go. Like a lot of older people, it was Frankie something,
Frankie Valli,
maybe Frankie Valli. I don't know. It was, but he looked, number one, he looked like death. And on top of that, he was like, bro, if you don't have the money now, you ain't gonna make it a windfall anytime soon. Victoria, they all have student loans.
Deadass. Frankie Valli did I Love You Baby. I love you, baby. That's probably the only song he has.
If it's Frankie Valli. Yeah, so if you see a picture of him now, I will show you a picture.
Still alive, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna pull up this picture, and you'll be like, yeah, that guy should not be doing things. Okay. Because he okay, this is him. Like, bro, it's time to go. It's time to go. You know? Yeah.
That's a dude who doesn't want to die near his wife. He's like, I don't love her no more, baby.
I love the craft. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sing into my grave.
I don't love you, baby.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Okay, so he has a Broadway show with his music. Great. Why, if he has a show based on his music, why is he still performing? Like that is
song stole his soul. No, really though, that's what we said at the beginning of this whole spiel was never stop moving. You know what I mean? That keeps you alive. It's always. Have you ever noticed that there's a specific group of people that die right after retirement, and it's those people who don't do anything after they retire. They they stop moving. Maybe a month afterwards, they fucking dead. Just fucking just right off rip.
Consistently. It's one of those things where you're like, yo, it's like as soon as you retire, you have to replace everything with stuff to do, right? And that's why like we've started a garden in the back. I've started building Lego, doing shows, doing things, going out, getting odd jobs here and there, like just to continue to have things on the go. Because I swear to God, like if you don't, it's just a matter of time, right? And then you're just gonna fall apart. And it's just
well, that was something that I had an argument with somebody on the internet not too long ago, as I do.
One does.
That's a daily occurrence for me. But one that kind of stuck out to me because like his whole thing was, so I'm a full-time DoorDasher, right? Yeah. Outside of this, and like I made my whole argument was because I don't get taxed as much as I'm 1099 and I can
write off stuff.
Still use to write off all of my car expenses, and then it saves me on taxes, which means cool. I got a fucking fully running car that somebody else has a job they have to actually fully pay for and fix. You know what I mean? Where I can just get my business pays for it, right? My taxes pay for it.
Yeah.
And his argument was, well, when you work for a union and have like a decent job, they may make the same amount as you, but they get 401ks, so the business actually goes into the retirement. Well, my thing is, sure, I'm not working towards my retirement as much as maybe somebody who's working a 9 to 5 working for somebody, but I'm a DoorDasher. Why do I have to retire?
So
I could literally do this till I fucking die. Like truly.
Having seen some people drive later on in life, that's one of the reasons. Let's be honest.
I mean, the way I like I said, it'll literally be till I die.
That's fair. John's like
not working for somebody.
But that's the thing is like, I feel like people don't realize how big of an opportunity that is. Where you're like, like I have free time, I can go DoorDash because we've turned into a society that relies on those services. which in my opinion is crazy, right? But
it is crazy. It's crazy because like there's times when like gas and honestly with inflation being what it is, I'm surprised that people still DoorDash so fucking much.
Yeah.
Never real. There's very rarely a slow period, and it's usually right before or right after a big holiday. That's really the only time it dies down because people are like saving up for buy something, or they're broke after that holiday. You know what I mean? So like right up to and like a few days after a big holiday, that's the only slow period you really see.
And that's the thing is, but there are other things like I'm sure is that Amazon delivery is still up. If you are Instacarting where you're delivering groceries, that's still up because people are like, oh, I can't make it to the grocery store, but I need groceries because I'm cooking and it's a holiday and da 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 da.
And even that, some people just fucking don't like grocery shopping anymore. There's a lot of people. My mom,
that's insane.
My mom does not grocery shop anymore unless I make her come with me. But it drives me crazy because she always bitches that there's like they swapped something on her that she didn't want swapped or something's missing. I'm like, just go grocery shopping.
100%.
She's like, I hate it.
Well, listen, okay, but that's the thing is grocery shopping should be done like if you need your groceries shopped for you, which I totally understand, but that's because I have 2 kids and I have, a 60-hour a week job and my schedule is entirely full. Your mom, just a jerk. That's she's just.
I don't get it though because I legitimately love grocery shopping. Like,
it's the best.
It's so much fun. I don't know. It's like almost therapeutic. It's one of the few adulting moments that is actually legitimately fun.
And you can get in arguments with old people, and they have no grounds because you are peers in the grocery. Everyone is on the same level in the grocery store. Everyone is trying to find an excuse to include Lucky Charms with the toy in their grocery pile, and we all know you can't have it. Okay.
Yeah, I use it as like a dating technique too. Like I'll be like, I see some hot chick and I'll look and see what she's buying, try and figure out if she has kids or not. And like, nah.
any snacks? No.
Buying Lunchables.
One of my close friends is a comedian. He goes, "Oh, I love hooking up with single moms because they have the best snacks every time." And I'm like, "That's factual." So he's like, "Yeah, listen, your mom buys good snacks. I'm sticking around, bro. Sorry, it's just how it is."
Just have a kid so you can have your own snacks around, or buy your own snacks.
Listen, the only thing better than free food is stolen food. And when you're stealing it from a child, delicious.
I have a child, so maybe I feel differently.
Yeah, and when he's bad and you're like, you know what? That thing I bought for you? Yeah, you're in here. I'm eating it. You don't get to eat it. Okay? You'll feel good after. I mean, you have an aspiring mob boss as a kid. That's fine.
You know what he told me the other day? Because I'm one of those old school dads where I leave my kid in the car while I run into the store real quick.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to do that, but like, I don't care. He's big. People think he's a grown up.
Yeah. He looks like a really short man.
I'm like, hey, here, I'll be right back. He's playing on his little Switch or whatever. I'll be right back. Literally right back.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. He said, "Isn't that what your dad told you?"
Jesus.
I busted out laughing right down. Like, what the fuck?
Like, that is, that's rude. Yeah. Yeah, that's, he's got you, though. He's got you there. He does.
And I'm like, no, he didn't even
say it. Yeah.
He wasn't even decent enough to leave me a note or anything. Shit, last comment. The fuck?
All right. So let's move on to our next topic, which is well, here I got another video for it. Here, let's go here. So before the F word gets thrown around quite a bit on our channels, so
you couldn't get the censored version?
No. But this is my thing. I didn't look for a censored version. Let's start there. I was
gonna say.
I remember when we were allowed to say those words. No, we never were. That's fine. But
it wasn't really that we were allowed to. It was just a matter of us not giving a fuck.
Just didn't care. I'm offended. Who cares?
Right.
And honestly,
about it?
I still hold that true where people will, be like, oh, that offends me. And I'm like, that means because you're weak. And I just look at them and I'm like, it's because you're weak.
Yeah, you have no callous.
No, it's not even that you're callous or anything. It's just you're like, you allow, if I allow someone else to influence how I feel and the emotions I experience, that's weakness, right? I'm in control of my own emotions.
I don't know if I believe
me and my wife
because like if somebody like cheats on you, that person's controlling your emotions because you're going to be pretty sad about it.
Sure.
Like,
but that's the thing is, at some point, Redbert, like you should, as a man, you should experience your emotions. I think that's a very important thing. That doesn't mean that you should talk to everybody.
Don't be a bitch and tell me to cry.
No, it's not what I said.
I know you're Greek, but
I only cry for one reason.
for weddings and funerals.
No, it's Transformers. You got the touch. As soon as that plays, you got the touch, and Optimus Prime comes flying in and shooting people. This is in 1986. You wouldn't understand. Okay, it was a momentous time.
Did you cry when you see trannies?
That's not what I said. It's not. That's not what I said, sir.
That sounds like what you said.
No, Transformers. 1986, baby. It was the time when Transformers came alive. No,
you were touched by a Transformer when you were a kid.
That's also not what I said. It did happen.
You said you were touched. You got the touched.
I did go. Listen, I did pose in front of Megatron.
I understand why you're a comic now.
Look, Universal Studios, I did pose in front of Megatron, and he didn't say shit. You know why? Because he knew who he was messing with. I would have punched him right in the
butter stick as my concho?
Bro. Had to spread his butt cheeks and everything. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, Playgirl magazine.
I when that scene came up in Talladega Nights, I looked at my friend. He's like, if you ever call me Mike Concho, I'll punch you in the face. And I'm like, I might change your phone to Mike. I was going to change his phone to Mike Honcho, and then it was going to be Hugo Stiglitz. He's like, that's not fair. Don't do that. And I'm like, I mean, you seem like a Hugo Stiglitz. He's like, I'm not Hugo Stiglitz. I'm like, I'm a little bit. So, So here's the thing. Okay. So he walked up to is an offensive lineman who's been retired for 6 months. He is 6'3" and 295 pounds, and his job for quite some time was holding off some of the biggest,
strongest, fastest men in the National Football League.
Yeah, and a guy who basically looks like the main character from The Night Before Christmas, or what is it, the Jack Skellington, like that. He's just he looks like, he just looks like bones. He's not a real person, whatever. And he says he called his brother the F word, and not the cool F word, the bad F word, for dating a woman.
Come on.
That's really weird. To be like, hey, she's dating a woman, you must be gay. You're like, I don't think that's how that works, but
Taylor Swift's getting kind of a bad rap lately because like she's been it's very undeniable that she's hanging out at the Diddy parties.
There's some pictures, bro, where she was hanging with Diddy, and you're like, oh,
right.
Ooh. And then she endorsed Kamala Harris, and you're like, oh, right. So everyone who's endorsed Kamala Harris, number one, paid actor. Number two, been to a Diddy party. You're like, that is not the vote of confidence that everyone really wants right now. It's very. And speaking of everyone, remember tomorrow we're gonna have a special collaboration between Hammer and Cheese and the best goddamn show on the internet to discuss a little thing that's happening tomorrow. You may have heard about it, but please make sure you tune in and subscribe to our channels to make sure that you're on it. But yeah, so
yeah, my sister's gonna come on and we're gonna talk some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But ultimately, here's the thing: is that guy got in Jason Kelce's face with a phone, and Jason Kelce grabbed his phone and smashed it on the ground. And number one, I love it because I I'm a little bit shorter, but I'm actually a little bit lighter, not as fit. And I'll tell you this much.
He's ripped. Like he's a little bit bigger than you, but ripped.
Yeah.
Like,
so that means he's a
not
lot
some guy
bigger than
you
me.
should just fucking with.
No. So it's like, listen, if
and
you
he's
got
like 10 years younger than you. You know, like,
you know what? Can you just stop bringing up things that make him better than me? How about that? How about that?
Mean,
okay? Listen,
he's closer to my age.
Listen, I have a father.
Than me, okay?
I have a father. Just shut your mouth. How about that? It's okay.
So does he.
But you don't. So.
Parents.
So I'll tell you this much: if somebody came up to me like that, I'd beat the crap out of them, like without hesitation. I'm like, oh, you're done, right? So the fact that he showed that much restraint and just threw the kid's phone on the ground, kudos to him. But also, what is wrong with people thinking that you can do that? Like, what planet are you on where you're like, well, it's freedom of speech? You're like, no, that's freedom. Like, you're just being an asshole, right? I don't think that.
Yeah, I mean, freedom. It is freedom of speech, but like,
not freedom.
I mean, the Second Amendment is why we have the First Amendment. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
There's consequences to saying shit, you know.
Look, that's like I feel like that's an important part of freedom of speech that people should realize is like, yeah, you can say whatever you want. You are allowed to, but like, you can't expect people not to get angry. And that's the thing is like, people have gone too far with the idea of trying to cancel people for things they said when like, look, Louis C.K., a few years later, he's back on tour and he's fine. So
yeah, but he didn't necessarily say something. He was a little odd.
He
with
did
some women,
he did,
you know, like I don't think that he necessarily did anything wrong per se, but what he did was a bit of a head scratcher. You know, you're like, really, dude?
It's not. And the thing is, and afterward, he's like, oh, you know what? I admitted fault. That's fine. I apologize. I didn't really think about it that way. And you go like, okay.
Yeah, so, why isn't that okay? By the way, why isn't it to be like, oh, well, I never considered that. I'm sorry. I apologize. You know what I mean? Like, why isn't that okay? Like, it kind of doesn't seem to be, I get on this particular group of people, this demographic constantly. I'm trying not to. You know what demographic of people it is that will fucking you have to be in trouble until I'm not mad at you anymore, and which is going to be forever.
You're like, that's not a thing. It's not. It's not like, look,
so what's the point of making me apologize?
Well, this is the best part is I if you're going to apologize sincerely, and then you're like, well, I don't accept your apology. Okay, then I don't care then. If you can't accept my apology because I've admitted wrong, then what's the point of continuing the conversation, right? And like I get into it, like my thing is if I have to tell you that you owe me an apology, your apology doesn't count because then it's just lip service, right?
Well, people who don't accept an apology
are worse.
Realize that like, oh, I'm no longer like it's no longer about me, it's about you, and I'm not gonna play that. So cool.
And that's that whole thing where you're going like, listen, I personally don't think if he dropped that kid, which like let's be honest, he would have dropped him one shot.
It would. I think smashing the phone was the better move.
100%. But I don't feel like it would have been a drastic.
Did you see that where they pushed him to the ground? That's where it was like, he should have decked the kid.
I would have just, as he was getting up, just just right in the face. Because that kid, like, look, that kid would have dropped like a sack of bricks. And hilariously, what he should have done too.
Size and strength versus that kid's, there's a chance that kid dies. That's a whole other fucking.
I sent you a picture on TikTok where it was like 5 minutes before that incident, he posed for a photo op with a family with like a woman and 4 kids. And you're going, and he was like all smiles and everything. You're like, so.
Well, like, and right after that, he went and like did a show. He was he was literally walking to do college game day fucking analytics or whatever. But he was literally walking to that. Like as soon as that happened, he went and went live. Like nationally
like,
live.
And that's the thing is like I feel like there's a certain degree of celebrity where you learn to, well, you get to understand that you're like, hey, I'm not going to be treated the same as other people for whatever I do. But
Right.
like that kid definitely deserved to get popped in the face. Like no question. Right? Like
I
that's
think he just learned like that. Travis or both the Kelce brothers, Jason specifically, are from Cleveland. All right, and I know how much I like to talk about Cleveland,
I know
but
you do.
that's not. These are some boys that are to trifle with. You know what I mean? Like especially the
No.
big one. Like,
I mean, and see that's
they went to school in Cleveland Heights.
oh
That's an area, okay?
yeah. that's
That's an area.
like, man, I even so I was telling you I did a 25-minute set yesterday night, and I was telling people how like growing up I had 3 brothers, so that's 4 of us, that's 2 tag teams, so we just beat the crap out of each other. Also, I grew up in Brampton, which is not a bad area, but it is a rougher area, but it's like middle class rough, so you're like it's not nobody's getting shot, but people are definitely getting punched in the face, right? It's also well that's why nobody has guns and everything, right? Which is good.
No guns in healthcare. Like, chill.
That's a pretty good trade. It's as I get older, I'm like
ghettos are more like drive by.
Yeah, well, yeah.
On your little bicycle.
Bro. Somebody tried to argue with me the other day that bikes are better for the city. I'm like, no, they're not. Under no circumstances, they're the worst. And they're like,
why are they better? No, in what world?
Hey, people are like, well, they belong on the road. I'm like, they belong in the wilderness.
At home.
No. Hey, you want to go for a bike ride? Good. Go into the forest and go for a bike ride. By all means. They're like, no, I want to go back and forth for work. I'm like, no, it's an inferior form of transportation. That's it. You're a bad person.
It's crazy that I feel like the bike was invented after the car.
No, that's not true, but I see where you're going. Well, Matt, no, no, not even close.
You didn't have to argue with me. People would have believed me.
They wouldn't have. I believe it would have gone horribly wrong. But the like, here's a weird fact: is the lighter was invented before matches. That's true.
I was gonna get to that. Yeah, the matches were first or second.
Yeah, Hey, and that's why it's like, look, the bicycle is the inferior form of transportation. Hey, it's great to exercise, and if you want to take it out like into nature, wonderful. This is a great idea. Taking it on a road where cars are, you're a fool, right? Victoria says our infrastructure doesn't support biking properly. If we had the same type of roads like they do in Frankfurt, where bike lanes were built into the pedestrian walkway, then by all means. Yeah, and that's the thing is you're not on the road. If you're on the road, you should be a vehicle, or you get hit by a vehicle. Ta-da! Welcome.
Frankfurt, like Germany? That sounds like some German shit.
Yeah. They also have it like in the Netherlands. They have neighborhoods that all the roads are blocked, and you have to get around by a bicycle. And you're like, that's fine too.
Bicycle lanes. Yeah,
if it's bicycle, you go back and forth with the bicycle, but you're not on the road.
It's not
Don't go on the road with the bicycle. This is stupid.
This is a bike lane. Road. Road. The taxes pay for the bike lane.
Bro, so right now they're actually eliminating some bike lanes on a few major streets, and cyclists are like, how dare you? And it's like, thank Christ, because they literally have dropped from 4 lanes to 2 lanes. Let them get hit. I don't give a shit. Look, it's the same idea.
So dramatic too. They're always shaking their heads at everybody and trying to direct traffic while they're moving, pedaling, trying to tell us what to do. Like we're the ones that don't know what the fuck is going on. Hey. But you're taking up a whole ass lane.
Oh, trust me.
Fucking 19 miles an hour. And then you blow through every stop sign and red light. Like you suddenly don't know traffic laws, but you're telling us all how to fucking follow.
Oh, look, I've never.
I so bad want to see a bike guy get hit by a car. Like that one of the ones that blow through the fucking red light. I want to see that.
Oh, there is an Instagram for that. Just an FYI. I'll
see it. As much as I drive, I'm gonna see it one day. As much as I'm gonna see it one day.
Yeah, I just don't want you to be a part of it. I want you to see it because it
No,
is
I
funny.
want to see it. Cool. What?
Yeah.
Like that's what you get. That's
Hey,
what you get.
I want the guy to go flying, land, and get up, and be like, "What the hell?" But as the car just runs over his bicycle, and you're like, "Sorry, you shouldn't have been in the road. You're a buffoon." You know.
That,
Uh,
I mean, like, there's a lot of weird like road laws too. Like, pedestrians always have the right of way here in the States, at least. I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm like, that's some old shit. That's some fucking shit when you had horses that could like trample you. This is stupid. Our fucking whole economy is supported by gasoline, which means that I'm the superior being. You are holding back the economy by walking, you poor fuck. Get out of my way.
So here's the thing: knowledge is knowing that tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to add it in a fruit salad. So the same idea is this: knowledge is knowing that a pedestrian has the right of way on the road, but wisdom is knowing that if you walk onto the road and you get hit by 2,000 pounds or 4,000 pounds of steel, you're going to turn into a cloud or a mist of person. It's just going to.
You're going to turn into ketchup.
Yeah. So it's that idea where people go, well, I have the right of way. Yes, but you're stupid, right? Walking like, look, I would, especially at my fattest, I did a joke where I would say how I can freely walk into traffic at any time, middle of the night, it doesn't make a difference. Why? Because if your car hits me at 500 pounds, I might bounce. There's a chance.
Your car yesterday in the freeway.
Hey, your car is dead. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like hitting a fucking 500-pound bag of potatoes. You're dead. Now,
well, cars are made to fucking like compact now when you hit stuff.
So, trust me, there's a whole thing about how the bolts that tie down your engine are meant to shear. So if it gets hit, what happens is your engine, because there have been a lot of deaths where the engine essentially gets pushed and goes right through the passenger space, right? So the bolts are meant to shear, and the engine itself and the drivetrain just goes underneath the car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so scientifically, it's great. However, that means that could happen. Yeah, the engine mount.
Because if you don't get your motor mounts replaced every so often, the engine starts to fall out of the car.
Right. Yeah. So your engine mounts are key to that, but they are meant when an impact happens that they will shear and your engine goes under the car. And that is to protect the passengers, right? So there's a video, if you watch, it's a like 1950s Malibu versus it was, I think, 2010 Malibu in a car accident. And the old Malibu with steel bumpers and like just a belt for a seatbelt. Like, oh no, it didn't have a seatbelt at all. It hits a wall, and the car's actually not in that bad of shape. But the dummy that's inside of it bounced around like a pinball. Just
yeah, you're like an egg inside of a fucking shell, bro. Like just scrambled.
The
like,
mannequin ended up in the backseat.
Didn't break for shit, dude. Like you could hit a wall and your car would be fine, dude. Back in the day, I miss those days. I ain't gonna lie.
One of my old cars was a LeSabre.
You are splattered all on the inside of the interior.
It was a 1995 LeSabre which had a steel bumper, and I'm like, bro, that thing was awesome. It rode like a dream. But that's the thing is, so they hit the wall. The car was actually okay, but the mannequin ended up in the back seat and like was just demolished. Like it was just right. Then they did it with a new Malibu, hit the wall. The car was in pieces, like it was fucked. But the person barely moved on the inside, and you're going, that's But I like
it's crazy the science behind that, right?
The science is wild.
You would think the opposite, but
and that's why like the idea, even like the 3-point seatbelt, and was created and given out. That technology wasn't patented. It was given to everybody by, I think it was Volvo. Same with their headrests. Just because they're safer.
The Nazis did this shit?
Bro, the Nazis made the Beetle, which the Beetle was being produced in Mexico up until the mid 2000s. They made the plant there made 21 million of them because it is a popular car. Now the problem is I can wear it like a shoe, but that's fine. Mexicans are small.
I don't want to say it out loud right here on YouTube, but I'm just gonna say that weird period of Germans during that little World War II area at that time does not add up when you think about how fucking nice and helpful Germans are. Like they're just such sweet people. I've met Germans and they're just some of the nicest people. Germans are big in Texas. There's a lot of German people in Texas, and they're some of the nicest, just chill, thoughtful, give you a card every Christmas type of people. And you're like, I don't know them, but everything is so, and it's their handwriting is beautiful. Like they take everything.
But if you cross
them,
we're
really mad.
If you cross them, they're gonna do some horrible stuff. I mean, it's the same reason why because of Canada there are a large portion of the Geneva Conventions, which we still call Geneva Suggestions, are in play because of World War II. Because, well, one of the things that Canadians would do is there was word that the Germans in trenches were running out of food and it was becoming an issue. So around Christmas, like Americans and other European factions were throwing canned goods at the Germans as a Christmas gift. So Canadians started throwing food to them. And once they started crowding, they started throwing grenades.
That's a solid move, bro.
It's a solid move, bro.
I like how you said crowding too, by the way.
Just
Krauting.
They were crowding and they must suffer. This is not my problem, my friends. This is how war is fought, okay? That's how we do things.
I mean, to be fair, you're fighting Nazis. Like, what do you like? That's how you fight a Nazi. You wait. Hey, let's throw some food over there. And we see. Oh, this is good. Yeah, not this one, bitch.
Oh, the Canadian food is so delicious. What is the new one? Oh, it's a grenade. Run there, Olaf.
They're so gay, dude.
Very.
Like in my mind, every German man has like a boyfriend at home. Like.
I mean, have you seen the German women? They got big wieners. There's no question there.
Facts.
Yeah, it's.
We probably have German people watching right now,
and we love you.
We are not gay,
but maybe a little bit. Listen, they're not as gay as the British accent, so it's fine.
That's what the G in German stands for. Gay.
G unit.
G unit.
G unit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's definitely how they say it. That's fine. I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I feel like he should have punched that kid in the face. I'm glad he showed restraint, but at the same time, I think
it's time. Like, I know we're getting kind of close to wrapping this up, but I think I had one thing I wanted to say about the whole shebang was I think it's like we've hit a turning point in culture recently, our own culture, because like this kind of ties into tomorrow, the election and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like people are kind of fed up with this like soft era of humanity.
Well,
you know what I mean? Where everybody's offended. You can't say this, and these people are doing like I can't even stand it when people are like, oh, I'm autistic, so I can do this, and it's like, shut up, dude. Like life's gonna be a little bit harder for you in general if you have any of these fucking long list of whatever the fuck you want to say your problem, your excuses. It's gonna be even harder if you give yourself an excuse.
So
you know what I mean? And you start fights with people, you're gonna get fucked up. You know what I mean? We got to go back to that. And I think we are. That's culture is changing. There's a tipping point sometime between 2022 and now. There was like a point where everybody's like, no, fuck all that shit. It's been building for 30 years, I feel like.
Yeah. And that's the thing is we've all heard the saying is that hard men build soft times build soft men, and soft men build hard times, and hard times build hard men. And now we're seeing that turn around, right? So we have an entire environment where you have people who are, they are standing up and just saying, no, you're not going to control me anymore. And look, I am my honor and self-respect are not for sale. Everything else is for sale. That's fine. I'll show you whatever you want. But, yeah. So, but the whole idea is that, I'm not going to betray my principles. And now people are like, well, you have to be kind to people. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't have to do anything. I'm sorry. You can't force me to do nice things for people that are shitty. Right. And that's why is when you have a problem, we can talk about it and we can find a solution. But if you're just going to risk, rattle off a bunch of weaknesses and say, well, you have to cater to that. No, I don't. You have to cater to that because they're
right, you have to figure that out. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Why is your problem my problem? No, fuck that, dude.
That's right. I don't have
my own problems,
If you're too sensitive for language, then you got to figure that out, right? If you can't be called a name, that's on you.
Because language is like what built humanity and society. And the first thing, that was one of the first hurdles from being a caveman to being where we are today, where we don't have to get eaten by bears and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, hey, don't go over there. There's bears. That was like how you said things. And now everybody's like, you can't say the bear is gonna eat me. That's disrespectful to the bear. Like,
the bear doesn't care.
Get out of here with that shit.
It's that whole idea where
bear racism.
It's bearicism.
Bearicism.
Yeah. And that's why is like, listen, you telling me what your weakness is in advance just lets me know how to play you.
Right. Yeah. Right? If you're there's a lot of fucked up people in the world.
Sure.
You're out here telling people the only cards you got. You telling everybody what your hand is. They know what the fuck your hand is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. All you're doing is ruining your own experience. And that's why it's like, listen, I personally know adults that are like very OCD, very ADHD, very autistic. And you know what? They figured it the fuck out. Why? Because no one's going to figure it out for you. You have to figure it out yourself. And that's part of growing.
Exactly. It's a big thing with growing. But that's also like, you don't have to tell people you're autistic or you're OCD or you're ADHD. Well, no. We'll figure that out. Like,
we went out.
When I'm in a public place, I have to pace. People like looking at me and shit, and I'm like, you'll figure out what's going on. Like,
and that's so. I was talking to a guy, and I'm like, bro, you're mad autistic. Don't worry about it. Let me help. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, look, I have no reason to want ill of you, but if you want help with this, let me help you. And he was like, oh, okay, I'll go here, because he's trying to lose weight. And he was like, yeah, so they're trying to do this stuff. And I'm like, bro, that sounds like a cult. Don't do that. Those people don't have your best interest. I go, think about it this way, is if somebody said, hey, I have a secret, but I'm only going to give it to you if you come over and you join all my stuff, that doesn't seem like somebody's helping you, right? It seems like somebody's trying to trap you. And he kind of was like,
sounds like a pyramid scheme.
Exactly. And I'm like, so I go also too, because he was like, oh, and then once you do all this stuff, they're going to give you Ozempic. And I'm like, so Ozempic isn't for everyone. And apparently the new thing is that Ozempic, because Ozempic helps you fight addiction on a chemical hormonal level. Okay. So apparently,
weird.
Casinos are getting angry about it because they're losing money because people have addictions. And if you go into casino, you see a lot of overweight people just wasting money, right? Just out of slot.
Oh, because we're supposed to care what casinos are fucking losing money and upset and sad. Like, those people aren't a bunch of fucking assholes. Like, they are literally capitalizing on illness.
100%. But that's the thing is, so like something that can affect you on that level when it comes to addiction, that isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I'm like, there are always side effects, right? So I'm like, look, I go, let me help you. This is the stuff that I did on the internet. They're only 15 minutes each. Like, I did it. I told you about it. And like, it's called Where Did the Rest of Me Go? I'm like, watch it. There's 30 episodes and explain everything that I did. That's stuff that I'm still doing right now. And he was kind of like, why are you helping me? I'm like, well, you're my friend's friend, and I think you're not a piece of shit. So, best of luck. And he was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, it's not simple. I'm like, it's about communication. And that's why it's like, if somebody isn't willing to understand or take the time to learn, right, then yeah, when you walk into traffic and you go, I have the right of way, and something hits you and you go poop, 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 into the sky,
Dude,
nobody's gonna care.
Be started on this shit. Like, again, we're gonna go on it again because I forgot. I had something I want to say about that too, but forgot. Fucking people who think that they have the right of way means that they can walk out into traffic whenever they want are the same people who say that they chose the bear over men. Like,
hey,
it's a dumb argument.
I can't wait for people to find out that you're like, hey, a bear doesn't kill you; it will just eat you.
Eat you
while
alive.
You're alive.
Like,
yeah. And
you
it doesn't
die from being eaten.
Listen, there's a whole video and audio that you can listen to on the internet, people, and it is basically about a guy who was a bear conservationist, and a bear came and ate him and his wife alive. And you can hear them pleading the entire time. A bear doesn't give a shit about you. You know why? Because it's an apex predator, and it will do as it pleases. And you know what? It doesn't care about your feelings or your emotions or your weak lineage. You know what it cares about? I'm just gonna eat.
It's better if you have if you have a lot of emotions.
I mean, I feel like that's gonna add some flavor to the whole mix.
Yeah, it's got some zip to it.
This one's spicy. He's all crying. Yeah, it's fine. I get it.
It's lemony.
It's
it's zesty.
It's all sour. It must be newly divorced.
This one tastes German.
This one tastes like a Venus ritual. Yeah, that's fine.
Crying. He must be gay or German.
It's fine. It's fine.
We have to get you back. We have to hate on you guys. World War II wasn't that long ago. We got to get at you guys.
Well, with World War III on the horizon, we got to make sure.
Once it won't be them starting it. What happened? Wouldn't that be funny if they started it again?
Hey, I saw somebody send that out, and they were like, Ukraine is fighting against Russia, and then it's like Germany has attacked France. France has given up, and you're like, sorry. Germany's like, sorry, old habit.
This isn't the same France. This isn't the normal France that we're used to. France has pretty much been invaded by Muslims, and Muslims don't play that shit. Muslims will fuck you up, bro.
So, but the problem is that Germans don't care. So
yeah, I'm just saying it won't be as easy to take over France. Okay. Muslims have already done it.
Hey, I've already heard one French person complain about protests that were happening in Canada because they're like, well, you guys didn't burn anything down. What did you expect to change? And you're like, France, you're onto something, buddy.
The craziest thing. It's so funny to me because like the French are they're anytime anybody invades them, they're like, we give up. But as soon as their own government wants to like take over, they're like, oh hell no.
Which I kind of respect, and it hurts me to respect them because you're like they're still French, but like at the same time you're kind of going, I mean, they had the guillotine up until the 70s, man.
You think they would have like some type of like, well, we don't even put up with this shit from our own government. Why would we put it up with you? Like
right? Like I'm like, how is that a thing? Like it's very surprising, but you know, it's
their own government don't have guns. That's what it is.
That's what
somebody rolls up through the mountains with a tank. They're like, shit.
And you're like, can't fight that on a horse.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of those things. But anyways, everyone listen, this has been fun. If you have an opinion, please share it on the comment section. We will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be cooking and also giving you updates on the festivities of tomorrow, which, let's be honest, will be hectic.
White guys for Kamala right here. That's us. We're white guys.
I support Kamala, but my wife and her boyfriend support
we're Germans, which means we're voting for Kamala because we're gay.
I'm just Canadian. Let me throw you some food. Woo! That's fine, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow. Come check us out. Bye.
Later, guys. Peace out.